Hey everybody, welcome to the second hashtag askawheelchairuser. Today's question comes from Melissa Honecker, who says, when it comes to housekeeping, what chore do you find most difficult? Personally, I have a heck of a time cleaning things at or near floor level, such as baseboards. Well, first of all, you reminded me I probably should check my baseboards because I don't think of them ever. I really don't. But whatever gets done when I am actually mopping the floor is what gets done as far as my baseboards go. I probably don't want to check them out at this point because it's been that long. I've been thinking about your question all week. Like, really, what was the most difficult chore to do? I remember before I was going to move out that I was terrified of taking the garbage out because I figured that I would probably live in an apartment complex and it probably wouldn't be the easiest thing to do. So I just couldn't grasp that. And so when I first moved in, that was definitely probably one of the most difficult, just because I'm not one to take a single little tiny grocery bag and take out the garbage every single day. I don't want to do it, especially when it's cold. So I was trying to figure out how to get a big old trash bag out the door. Now, if you've been following this channel any length of time, you've probably seen that I have changed the way that I do things, and I do need to even make an upgraded video on how I take my garbage out, but I will link the card up below on the two ways that I do handle that as of now. So that would be the first thing I would say, that I just couldn't grasp how in the world I was going to do that when I moved out. Thankfully, it's not nearly as bad. The worst part for here is that the trash is like way on the other side of the building. So I have to go around the building to get to it in order to take out the garbage. So that's the worst part about it, especially when it is cold. So if I'm lucky, I'll run into somebody and they will help me take care of it. And so I was thinking about it more, and there's not really something that I would say is quote unquote difficult, but there's definitely quite a few things that I don't like to do because they take longer. And definitely, if you've watched my doing the dishes video, that is probably my number one chore I hate to do. But thankfully, I have a dishwasher, so it makes things a lot easier. If I did not have a dishwasher, oh Lord help me, it would be awful. So the dishwasher definitely helps, but still, it's my least favorite chore. I would much rather scrub a toilet than do the dishes. It just do. I don't know if it's a texture thing or what it is. I just don't want to. And the second, probably most hard chore would be putting sheets on the bed. When I'm not talking about just like folding them up every morning, but I'm talking about like going full-fledged out and changing your sheets out. And I'll be honest, I don't tend to do that. I'm sleeping by myself, so I tend to throw a sheet or throw a comforter over the mattress, which has a cover on it, and then sleep on top of that and put another sheet or comforter on top of me. And that's typically how I do it. It makes things a lot easier, especially if you need to take off the sheets or anything in a hurry. It's just a lot easier. I'm sure if the Lord ever blesses me with a husband, that will change, but that is how I do things now. That is right under doing dishes. That would be my least favorite thing to do. I would rather do vacuuming, mopping, anything. I would much rather do that than those two things. What I want to know from you guys is, what is your most difficult chore? Leave that in the comments down below. If you have a question that you want to submit to hashtag askawheelchairuser, you can, of course, send it on Twitter with the hashtag askawheelchairuser, or my handle, which is living_able. But of course, you can always leave it in the comments on the YouTube video or on Facebook. Any way that you'll get it to me, it would be great. So, but I will be checking the hashtag askawheelchairuser first to look for questions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited about this series and just how well received the first question was. So I'm so excited to see that this is something that interests you guys, and keep your questions coming. Have a great day.